Hey everyone! So this Monday, January 17th at 6:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Wolf Moon in Cancer. And this is the first full moon of 2022, and it really sets the stage for the energies that we'll be experiencing throughout the year. Now, because this is the first full moon of the year, I want to dive a little bit deeper into the astrological aspects that are setting the tone for this year. So the moon reaches its fullness in Cancer, which is the sign associated with the moon. It's the moon's home sign, and it's also associated with motherhood. Now, this is a deeply sensitive, nurturing, loving, and gentle water sign. And when the moon, the planet that rules our deepest inner emotions, reaches its fullness in the emotional Cancer, this can be a recipe for some deep, suppressed emotions to come up to the surface. So depending on where you are on your personal healing journey, this can be quite an intense lunation. Which we should take note from the crab in this instance and find a safe place to retreat, to go within ourselves and to nurture ourselves, to heal ourselves, to get in touch with the deepest parts of our being, providing love and support for ourselves. And this is the time to find the stillness and listen to our inner voice. The moon helps us connect with that inner voice and that innermost self, our emotional self. And this is the perfect time when the moon is in Cancer to really connect with those deepest parts of ourselves. So during this lunation, not only do we have some deep diving within our emotional being when the moon is in Cancer, but the moon is also opposing Pluto and the sun in Capricorn. Now, Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. If you've been a part of my lunar club last year, we know this. Pluto played a huge part in 2021, and it's no different in 2022. And so the planet of death and rebirth is in opposition with our inner emotional self. So right there you can see a recipe for some big changes on the horizon. So this opposition is supplying us with energy of a deeply transformational emotional rebirth. Supplying us with the medicine to cleanse, to heal, to clear out old, dense emotional blockages, and allowing us to find new emotional pathways as we enter into this cosmic exhale. Now, when these emotional blockages or this dense emotional energy comes up within our being, it can be very uncomfortable. It can bring up emotions that we don't want to feel, it may bring up fear, and we don't want to look at it, and so we may run from it and distract ourselves with television or social media or food or alcohol or whatever it is, a shopping spree. That sounds like fun, but there are plenty of distractions to run from our emotional self, but this isn't the time to run. This is the time to find that stillness and sit with it and see what it's trying to say, because when we have these emotions bubbling up, they're bringing up a message for us. It's a teaching. It's a way to show us our strength, a way to show us through this emotional landscape so that we can find ourself and our sovereignty in this emotional landscape. And so this is an invitation to really get in touch with our emotions and allow them to come up and be expressed and to feel them. So this is a deeply personal time for us and for our innermost emotions. And so not only is the moon opposing Pluto, but it's also opposing the sun. And the sun is the sign of ego and identity. So we have yet another powerful cosmic alignment challenging our inner self to take a deep, honest look into our ego and our personal identity, the identity that we've created over our lifetime. You know, we were born into this world, we were given a name, we were given an identity, and we were shaped by the external world around us. Our family, our friends, our community, our politics, our country of origin, and this identity has formed who we are, and so far in our life, we've been formed from the external, forming us into the internal. There is a cosmic shift that is inviting us to reform ourselves and to rebirth ourselves, not from the inside out, or not from the outside in, but rather from the inside out. So this is a complete change in vision and a complete change in how we kind of navigate through our world. We're being challenged to create the world from the inside out and not let the external world create us or influence us. There's a lot of chaotic energy going on in the world. I mean, we've all felt it in the past couple years, and we can either let that shape us and influence us in a negative way, or we can work through those emotional textures that it's bringing to us and bringing into our life, and work with them, listen to them, see what they're bringing up, what's bubbling up within us, that energy, and sit with it, and allow ourselves to work through the energy, to find our strength in those moments, and to find who we truly are, who we are outside and externally from the outside world. So regardless of what's going on in the world, we know who we are and what our purpose is, and we can stand tall and sovereign in being who we truly are. So this creates an interesting dynamic between the inner self and the outer self, as well as this energy of death and rebirth. And it's in a very sensitive place in Cancer, a very emotional place. So this is a very personal time, it's a very introspective time, and it can be a very powerful and transformational time. So some other astrological aspects that's happening is the moon is also trine with Neptune. So this dynamic is inspiring us to seek spiritual enlightenment, support, and counsel. So this is really interesting because it's drawing us closer to the divine, expanding our vision from the day-to-day, what I have to do, my to-do list, getting things done, trying to make a living, and just surviving the day, working paycheck to paycheck, and just focusing on that like earthly existence. It's taking us out of that and expanding our vision into higher states of consciousness, and opening us up to more spiritual downloads. So this is a really powerful time of awakening, and we also have Mercury that is square with Uranus. So during this wolf moon, Uranus is growing in power, as it will throughout the entire year of 2022. This is giving us a strong desire for independence, and I'll speak a little bit more to that when I get to the Saturn square Uranus dynamic that we have as well. So this is moving us away from the external authorities into our inner authorities, right? Like I've said before, we've been shaped by the external world, and that has gotten us this far, but there is a cosmic shift that's happening throughout the Earth plane, where we are taking a look at external authorities and making decisions on whether the external authorities are really for our best interest, and or showing us our inner authority. You know, we all have an inner authority, and we can live our life dictated by external authorities, or we can live our life in divine sovereignty with our inner authority. And so we're going through that change, that shift in consciousness right now in the earth plane. And if you look at the chart for this full moon, that Mercury square Uranus has that dynamic right there. So we can experience some interesting dynamics with control versus freedom, not only within ourselves, but throughout the collective. So along with that Mercury square Uranus, we also have Saturn square Uranus. Now Saturn is a teacher planet, and it's all about control, and Uranus has a further orbit from Saturn and is all about breaking free from that control. It's all about sovereignty and freedom. So this square brings us some potentially unpredictable and chaotic energies, because Uranus wants to break us free from that control and Saturn wants to keep us into that control. So there's this dynamic energy of control and freedom. And so we will have perhaps an awakening of our inner authority, gifting us with revelations into our cosmic identity and bringing us closer to our divine freedom. You know, we were all born with the birthright of free will and freedom. And so we can allow external authorities to control us in that free will and freedom, or we can step into our divine self and live within our inner freedom, our inner authority, our sovereignty, our divine sovereignty, our birthright. So you can see that this is a power-filled full moon, and it has a big emphasis on diving deep into our emotional body, allowing us to do some deep healing and give birth to some strong, sovereign, divine beings that we are. This is the time to do some very deep work. It's perfect time to stay at home and have some quality introspective time with yourself. This is a great time to journal, have a full moon forgiveness ceremony, or do some divination rituals to reveal what's in store for your future. And so our full moon reading this time is Show the World the Real You. I mean, how synchronistic that we get this card. Show the world the real you, especially with that moon opposition Pluto. So this is a message for us to detach ourselves from our old self, our old patterns, our old behaviors, detach ourselves from our inner victim, and bravely step out and step into our true divine cosmic self. Not the self that is worried about the day-to-day tasks of making a living, but rather stepping courageously into the self that knows your divine purpose, your higher calling, and what you're here to do on this planet. This is the time to step into the real you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this full moon reading. There's lots of interesting aspects going on for this full moon. It's going to be a very powerful moon, and depending on where you are on your healing journey, this could bring up a lot of unfinished business. So the invitation is there to work through that. There's lots of support through the universe and the cosmos, helping us through this journey of awakening. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We have the full moon just around the corner, and then we have a second new moon at the end of January. So I look forward to sharing that with you. That's 3 lunations in 1 month, which is extremely rare. and there's lots of powerful energies going on throughout this year. And so because this is such a powerful year, I've decided to do free lunar readings until the end of February. So I hope you guys are enjoying these readings, and enjoy them until the end of February. And if you want more guidance from the moon and the cosmos about what's going on this year, you can sign up for my lunar club and receive 12 months of lunar readings and cosmic guidance. So until the new moon on the 31st of January, I wish you guys all the best on this full moon. Sending you guys lots of love, and until next time, bye guys.